Bismillah Rahman Rahim. Welcome to another video on IT different areas. Today in this video I will try to cover BCP, business continuity planning, why it is required, what can be done for this, how can be done, and is it really important. So basic concepts and consideration of BCP and disaster recovery, and majorly it will be related to IT because BCP can include or will include other areas as well, but here for the sake of this video I will only cover IT, right? Okay, let's move. So today agenda will be I will just discuss a little bit what is BCP, then we will discuss about why BCP is required, is it really required or it's just sort of nice to have. Okay, what kind of IT disasters should be expected, okay. Importance of backups, so I will discuss something about backups as well. The day-to-day backups normally companies or database administrators they are taking. Okay, why disaster recovery site is required, then we will discuss a little bit about disaster recovery site. Okay, what should be considered while having a DR? So for the DR setup, few consideration. Well, I will try to cover maybe you can say high level things, but again still you have to go in details into nitty and gritties, and everything cannot be covered in one presentation or video or write up or whatever, right? Okay, at the same time we will discuss about RPO and RTO, which are very common in DR setups, and what are these and how you should decide or what should be decided. Again, it depends on your business, but I will share with you the both sides of RPO and RTO. Okay, then DR drills, and last one not the least, cloud as a DR. So I'll just say about few things about clouds. So what should be the alternate? Okay, what is BCP? BCP is actually creating a system of prevention and recovery from potential threats to a company or to a business, whatever you can call. So BCP is not only disaster recovery of IT systems. Yes, see, one part is IT in a business, right? It's one department or one area. So in case of disaster, you have to consider other factors as well. Let's assume, I will discuss further point by point in a few other slides, but there can be infrastructure issues with, within the country. It's not only your office. Like if roads are not there and you have supply business or shipping, then what you will do? It's not only IT. Yes, IT is one part, but as a BCP you have to consider as a whole business continuity. There are so many other areas as well a part of BCP. So the only thing is, for this presentation I am only going to discuss only about the IT, right? In planning, everyone should participate and give inputs, right? In BCP, this is very important. It's not only just the top management, they sit in a room and they decide. No, from top to bottom, bottom to top, everyone, right to left, left to right, everyone should participate, should take give their inputs, and then exhaustive BCP should be designed. Okay, what if country infrastructure destroyed? So such scenarios need to be addressed. It's part of BCP because in BCP all areas need to be covered. So in next slides it will be only IT related, but just only questions you should ask about your BCP. So if your main shipments are using roads, then alternates. What are the alternates then? Let's say, for example, if you are supplying fuel or you are supplying other food goods, and due to floods or something else, earthquake, and now you have to plan how your business will survive. Okay, why BCP is required? So can business afford downtime? Now I'm just talking about IT point of view majorly, right? So let's say, for example, in case of any disaster, can you afford downtime? So you need, and let's say, for example, IT systems are not available for certain time, hours, days, or whatever. So what you will do? In case of disaster, can business will be able to survive? So now you have to think. So if there is no business, can you survive for example, for 5 hours if systems are down, or maybe, I don't know, 12 hours, or 1 week, 1 month, 2 months, depends. Let's say, for example, if IT servers are no more there, and minimum lead time is, let's say, 6 to 8 weeks, and you don't have servers, then what you will do? So consider all these things. Do you care your customers? Yeah, of course. If as a business, you have to consider your customers. Now, due to whatever reason, maybe only your company is affected, I am assuming, rest everyone is fine. So your customers are trying to reach you. You are not available. Your systems are not available. Your CRM is not available. Your customer services are not available. So can you afford that? In case of disaster, government needs your services. Now there can be certain companies or businesses where government need you to be operational. You can't just say that, okay, if, let's say, for example, you are not able to serve your customers, it's okay for you, or you don't need much money or revenue, but sometimes there is a government requirements. Let's say, for example, in case of flood or something like that, food items, or all water and all these supplies should be there. So it's not only just you are alone. Maybe few businesses, yes, you can, but sometimes there are requirements by the government or by the society itself. Your suppliers need to send you material. Okay. Now, for example, there are you have suppliers, you send them purchase orders. Now they have to send you the material, and if your services are not available or your operation is not available, what they will do? What will happen to that those goods or services, whatever? Where your employees will go in case your office destroyed? Have you planned? So now this is part of BCP. This is what you have to plan within BCP. If such kind of disaster happens, okay, where you will find an office? Okay, if you need an office, do you want to keep all employees at once over there, or you will wait for registration of the current office and maybe minimum staff you can continue over there? So again, you will have to list down your key staff who will work during this time, and you have some temporary arrangements in somewhere else, or I don't know how it will be, rented or whatever. I'm just assuming if your office is only affected, or there can be others, but again somewhere, or maybe your office is not reachable due to some reason, so where your staff will sit. So these things are part of BCP, right? Okay, how much revenue you will lose every minute? Okay, now these are the questions. Now let's assume IT system is down due to whatever the reason. Is it disaster or something, whatever. Now you have maybe online business and you are losing money with every minute. So, and let's say, for example, you are not ready for the BCP or disaster recovery or whatever, and let's say your system was down for 4 hours. So just imagine how much revenue you lost during these 4 hours. Okay, just few examples of IT disasters. There can be more exhaustive list, but I just few came in my mind, so I thought let me write it over here. So let's say, for example, due to fire, your data center is no more there. Hardware failure, this is another disaster. Software corruptions, your operating system or your whatever, it got corrupted or what, something happened. So availability is not there. Natural disasters like earthquakes, fire, floods. Anyway, I've put it fire over here already. Okay. Virus, you were not ready on your servers and you got affected due to viruses. Human error. So let's say, for example, even if you have, let me give you example of HA, high availability. What is high availability? Like, let me give you Oracle rack example. So in rack, yes, there are two hardwares available, both are sync. So let's say, for example, if one server crashed, so one is available, right? Or you have disk mirroring or whatever. But what if human error did something which is, too much data got affected, or you are not able to recover or restore, things like that. So what you will do? Maybe they deleted customers. I'm just giving you examples. Are they disabled or whatever? So there are human errors, right? So you have to be ready for all those things. Hackers attack your systems. So business can suffer, or business will suffer, or there is a war in your country. So in case of war, what is your plan? Will you close, or you have some alternate plans? So that this is what comes under BCP. Sorry. Now I was just thinking to bring this importance of backups, because these are critical things. Frequency of backup restoration tests are very important, please, because taking a backup is not important. If you feel that, okay, I am taking backup, no, sorry. Have you restored it? How frequently you tested your backups? By restoring them, and restoring with different scenarios. Like one case, you are taking daily full backups, so this is straightforward. Another scenarios can be if you have incremental backups, so you have to check. For example, if one incremental fails, what you will do? So such things you have to check. Few companies came across, they were taking backups and they were keeping outside the building, and when there was a requirement to restore, they were failed. So what is the use of all those backups they took, but they were not able to restore? So backup is zero or nothing until it is not restored or tested, right? So this is very important. Monitoring on daily basis. If you are monitoring on daily basis, very important. Is it happening? There is any error in the log files or whatever, right? So keep monitoring as well. Scripts accuracy, maturity. Are you sure? So all these can be assured if you will test or restore. Otherwise, there can be some bug, or there can be some issue, or maybe you added some more files or whatever, and that script is not dynamic and it is not automatically included, in the backup. So you will not be able to restore. Yeah. Okay, backups configured by an expert DBA. If you know the person who configured, if he or she has enough experience, but still, even experience, sometimes you can miss something. There are different. Every company has a different setups. There are different configurations. So first of all, it should be expert DBA, right? So even expert DBA, even configured, then still you need monitoring, you need to do restoration and testing. Yeah. Okay. Let's move to next point. If no DBA and no AMC, then better move to cloud. If you don't have a database administrator and you don't have annual maintenance contracts with any third party, then please don't give to anyone. If you think, okay, you are having one, I'm just saying, a developer, he or she will be managing it. No. Backup or restoration is a totally different, expertise required or subject. So don't just depend on, resources availability. If you don't have proper resources available, then please take care of things so before going wrong. Yeah. So I will not recommend at the moment at all. Okay, access to backup is restricted. Yes, security. So you have to check. I mean, backups are in controlled place, no matter in same building or any other building or some banks or whatever, where you are keeping it. It should be restricted. And copy of backups outside main building, please. If you are taking backup on the same machine and you are keeping it over there, you are at risk, because you are securing from that, not only that machine or server, from that room, data center. Then you have to be careful for that building itself. There can be don't keep in another room. Something can happen the whole office. Then what you will do? So you have to keep somewhere away, at least I would say 20 kilometers. Ideally, I think there are some maybe parameters as well. You can check 15 kilometers or 20 or 30 or whatever, or 50 maybe. So, but you have to keep somewhere away. Okay, why disaster recovery site is required? First, it is required as for the BCP, business continuity planning. Okay, disaster can happen anytime of any type. It's not only one type of disaster it can happen anything. So you need a recovery site which will be away from your office. I think, if I'm not wrong, it is minimum it should be 60 kilometers or something like that. Okay, clouds should be a good option. I would say that now these days clouds are very at competitive prices as compared to creating your own DR sites, arranging hardware, and then their AMCs, and then depreciation and everything. So better to explore clouds for the same purpose. Then what should be considered while having a DR? So few considerations. Location of the site. If, let's say, for example, I'm just giving you an example, you are close to sea and your next DR site is also close to sea, then it will not make sense. So yeah, or some other you can say factors or things you have to consider like this. So it shouldn't be same locality or location or features of your current building or office. So it should be in a different area or zone, or maybe region, different. Maybe in the current, if you are in one side of the country, then you can think of the other side. Depends on your geography and country. Infrastructure of DR site, you have to consider the infrastructure of your DR site, because let's say, for example, if you have on primary side you have good enough hardware, I don't think so you will be able to keep the same replica over there. So might be you have to reduce, maybe high availability and things like that. So if it is 2 nodes here, there you will keep single node. Depends on your budget for sure. SLA with vendor, then you have to consider SLA with your service level agreement with your vendor. If, let's say, for example, you are hiring or getting DR as a service, or as a cloud or whatever you can say, so in that case SLA with the vendor. Or even if it is your own DR, then for hardware or operating systems or software you need SLA, right? So that those SLAs should be in place. Connectivity and bandwidth to the DR side. So primary to DR and DR to primary, this connectivity bandwidth need to be analyzed based on your requirements or data, and then I will share with you the RPO and RTO, then you will understand the importance of bandwidth and connectivity. Hardware and software AMCs should be there. Replication software, then for sure you need replication software, those need to be tested, and those should be well known or certified, which will replicate, like in for the Oracle database, it's a data card for database. So proper documentation should be there with all information, plus security. The site should be secure. Performance, of course, what kind of hardware will be there, connectivity, switches, all those things will be part of the performance factors, right? Okay, what should be RPO and RTO, or what is RPO and RTO? These you have to understand. I will try to explain in very simple and easy way. RPO called recovery point objective. Recovery point objective. Here it is RTO. So recovery time objective. So here it comes time, here it comes point, right? Okay, now I just draw this, I will say diagram. So down, this is a timeline, right? This down line is a timeline. So you can consider them in minutes or hours or whatever. Okay, now this side, left side, which is RPO, that's why I kept it here. See, I divided over here. So on left side, now this place, this line, vertical lines, here it is showing disaster. Something happened over here. This one, at this point, right? Okay, if you see on the left side, for example, your last backup was 12 hours before this disaster happened. 12 hours, right? Backup. I'm assuming there is no DR, there is nothing else. You are only taking backups, right? And the only thing is that is the last backup available, whatever the reason is there. Your archive logs or online redo log files, nothing is there. But only thing is 12 hours old data is available. You will be able to restore or recover or not, that is something different. But I'm saying last 12 hours old data based backup is available, right? So this is called recovery point objective. How much data loss is there? So in this case, how much data loss is there? 12 hours, right? Now, for example, you are having even DR. In DR, you will have sync levels as well. I am assuming, let's say for example, you are keeping sync after 15 minutes. So your RPO is maximum 15 minutes. So maximum data you can lose in this case, in case of disaster, that will be 15 minutes maximum. Maybe it will be 1 minute. How? So let's say for example, your last synchronization happened 15 minutes back, and now there is a disaster. Before starting or doing synchronization or transferring data from primary to secondary, so now here it happened, and now this 15 minutes data which was entered there, you are not able to recover because this is not there on this on the DR side, right? So here now you have to decide how much RPO you can afford, or how much, instead of RPO I will say how much data loss you can afford. Will you be able to re-enter? Or let's say for example you have an online business or online store, online shop or whatever. So, and there were customer orders during last 15 minutes or 5 minutes, 10 minutes or whatever. So can you afford losing those orders? Maybe those were, I don't know, in millions, we don't know. It depends on your nature of business. So RPO is how much time you can lose data, right? Okay, now coming on the right side, RTO, recovery time objective. Now, for example, here there is a disaster, right? Now you have to restore backups or you have to switch to DR, whatever. Now, let's assume here it is 10 a.m. Now, after 1 hour, let's say it took 1 hour, I'm just assuming. So, after 1 hour, your all systems became online. So, how much business you lost? 1 hour. What it says? Business lost time taken to recover, because let's say, for example, recovery might take 4 hours, or I don't know, you can say 1 day. Can you afford 1 day downtime? Then it's okay. So now RTO, you have to consider how much downtime you can afford. Here we said data loss, here we said downtime. So these are two important factors you have to consider, because these two will increase or decrease your cost on hardware, on your connectivity, on your bandwidth, everything. So this you have to be very careful on these two measures, and it depends on your business, and it will vary business to business, up to you. Okay, DR drills are always important, critical, and required frequently, like backups. Nothing is good, nothing is perfect until it is not tested, until it will not work. So always consider this risk, please. Should be properly documented and monitored, for sure. You have to keep this. It shouldn't be like in case of disaster, now you are searching, oh, where is the documentation? Okay, what are the steps to follow? What do we have to do? That is not the time. Okay, I'm just suggesting cloud, sorry, disaster recovery as a service. DR, it also called DROS, or whatever you can pronounce it, stands for disaster recovery as a service. The as a service term indicates the disaster recovery is delivered by the service provider as one of their products to their customers. That means, for example, I just took few examples. So let's say, for example, Oracle Autonomous Database. By the way, always read the contract of your service provider. Even if they are giving you such services, you have to check RTO, RPO, whatever I just explained earlier as well. And let's say, for example, availability time percentage, you have to check and read the contract very carefully. Sometimes international contracts are really risky as well. So let's say, for example, Oracle Autonomous Database, they are providing you with the DR as well. Depends on, I don't know, maybe you have to select some extra package or whatever. But Oracle will have different region-wise data centers, so they normally switch from one to another, So you might not be able to do that, but if you will buy Oracle or Microsoft or whatever their services or products, so then you don't need to worry about it, DR services. But again, please be careful by reading the whole contract, even if it is small company or big company, whatever, because this can affect your business. It can impact your business, right? Okay. If you don't have disaster recovery in place and you and your business both at high risk. Of course, there will be risk. So thank you very much for watching this video. I'm sure it is, for few it will be very initial or basic level or details, and for few maybe it's high level, but again the objective is to show the importance of BCP and disaster recovery. So please, at least if someone can just get if he or she feels risk and just perform this sort of exercise, and they can save their business, I think that will serve the purpose, right? So here, it doesn't mean that with this video you can understand everything, or just this video will do the DR or BCP. No, but this is to show you the importance. Is it required, not required? Now you have to decide by looking at your business, or looking at your current infrastructure or whatever you are having it. So please share your comments and feedback. Thank you very much. Allah Hafiz.